count 2 of involuntary manslaughter in regards to Tate Muir, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. On count 3,
Jennifer Crumbley was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. That's 1 count for every student, the 4 students who died at Oxford High School back in 2021. This jury, 6 men and 6 women, found Jennifer Crumbley guilty of involuntary manslaughter in Oakland County Circuit Court. That's about 40 miles north of Detroit, not far from Oxford High School where this shooting occurred. We've never had parents in the United States charged with some responsibility for their child committing a mass school shooting. So certainly it's a conviction, it's groundbreaking in many ways, but each case rises or falls on its own set of facts. Now, James Crumbley faces this identical charges, involuntary manslaughter. He is scheduled to go to trial in March. So we don't know, at least publicly, what the prosecutors are thinking, or what James Crumbley's lawyer is thinking about the upcoming trial. Is it possible that there may be some sort of plea agreement worked out that would avoid a trial? Yeah, that's possible. Jennifer Crumbley will return to court on April 9th for her sentencing. In Michigan, the maximum sentence for involuntary manslaughter is 15 years. So the judge will set the minimum sentence, and it could be as high as 10 years if the judge wants to exceed the guideline.
Let's rock on the mic. What's up, everybody, and you are listening to the best of the Meter Mike Radio Show. I am your host, the Meter Mike Speak, sponsored by New Justice Media, where we are the voice of the everyday citizen. The time is now 39 minutes past the hour in the Lone Star State, so let's get to this story before it is too late. All right, good people, I'm pretty sure you've heard of this story, but that's been buzzing in the news. Jennifer Crumbley, the Crumbley family. You know, this happened about, I think, 2 years ago, where their 15-year-old son fatally, mortally, both wounded 4 high school students and injured 7 others. Well, she's become the first parent to be convicted of felony for this. So who is Jennifer Crumbley? So just to bring you up to date, it's been more than 2 years after the shooting. The judge just sentenced Mrs. Crumbley to life in prison without, good people, the possibility of parole, the maximum sentence. This school shooting was the worst in school's history. It rocked the town of Oxford, a suburb just north of Detroit of 22,000 people. That young man's mother, yes, was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter on Tuesday, marking the first time a parent has been convicted of such charges for their child's role in a mass shooting. So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to tell y'all something about this case, which I think more people should have been charged. Yeah, but they didn't do it. And I'm going to tell you what hurt the mother and father, a reason why, because the father is up next. His trial is next, which I'm pretty sure he will be found guilty. Because, see, this case raised questions about who else can be held accountable for a mass shooting when a child pulls the trigger. It was Crumbley's parents who gifted him the weapon he used just days before the attack, and they also attempted to flee after being charged with involuntary manslaughter. That was their downfall right there. You're going to go on the run? Is this what this is all about? So you're going to go run and hide in a warehouse and not hold yourself accountable. I think the mother was quoted as saying, well, he on his own. Now, there have been reports that the young man was neglected. The parents were off on drunken binges and escapades, extramarital affairs. Because, his father, as I stated, will face a separate trial on the same charges in March. Now, what was told, was that they used the father to turn on the mother. He used to be a firefighter, former firefighter. He's done. No pension. He's lost everything. This is bad. Now, what I found very interesting is that they didn't want to bring out the cheating spouses. The mother was having affairs. Probably the father was too. And the mother said, well, we're going to go ahead and bring it all out, which doesn't make any sense. Even though this is a terrible tragedy, did you all know cheating on your spouse in Michigan is a felony? Cheating on your spouse in Michigan is a felony. Typically, felonies are crimes punished by a minimum of 1 year in jail. Cheating on your spouse, once again in Michigan, is a felony. According to Michigan Adultery Law 750.31, a prosecution for adultery may only be initiated by the aggrieved spouse within a year of the act's occurrence. Not saying that the father actually was going to do that, but they out here running around and breaking the law with their marital vows in this state. Now, this is what got me. The school also faces criticism, which we're going to talk about, that it could have prevented the tragedy. Now, this is a good question. Should the school be held accountable? Those in the school? I think they should. While these parents, the Crumbleys, are the first to face manslaughter charges for a mass shooting their child committed, prosecutors are increasingly trying to hold third parties responsible for others' homicides. I agree. Because these parents, the parents of Ethan Crumbley, the one who committed the homicide a few years ago, because he has life in prison. Because these individuals are facing a mount of scrutiny. But the blame also could be on that school, Oxford Community Schools District. It should. Now, in November, a group of around 30 Oxford High School students walked out of class to demand the resignation of several school board officials, which I do agree. A month earlier, an independent firm, Guidepost Solutions, had released its final report on the school's response to the shooting. The probe alleged multiple failures from school officials who failed to check Ethan Crumbley, the young man who did the shooting, failed to check his backpack for weapons after teachers discovered his disturbing violent drawings. He would begin shooting students within hours after being sent back to class. They are liable, negligent, and I would think also criminal. But they're liable. And let me tell you what else they found. It also found the school board discouraged staff from cooperating with investigators. Now, is that not interference? Now, this report is very damning. It makes it very clear that from beginning to end, the school made errors over and over and over again. But they've done everything in their power to run from taking any responsibility. This school, the Oxford Community School District, did not respond to any requests for comment. Other parents of those killed, those kids and injured in the school have filed lawsuits against the district, which they should have. But let me tell you what's so funny about that. They filed lawsuits, but in March, an Oakland County judge dismissed several civil suits against the school, ruling that the district and its employees had governmental immunity. I like to see that. I like to see that. They have governmental immunity, writing that Crumbley himself was the one most immediate, efficient, and direct cause of the injury or damage. Look, we get that. We're looking at the prevention. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Isn't that what the motto says? That's what it states. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And they didn't care about that. You failed to check a student's backpack, knowing that he could probably put those students' lives in danger. And what I understand is that this wasn't the first time he had done that. They're drawings like that, and they failed to do anything. The school is liable, people. I'm surprised if they don't get no more than 20 students in a given year. I'm surprised they're still open, really. Now, let's talk about the case against the Crumbleys. U.S. law is generally designed only to hold individuals responsible for their own actions, according to legal experts. Now, still, several elements of the Crumbley case probably compel Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald to bring charges against the parents. And so this is kind of what happened here. In the case against his parents, prosecutors have also argued the Crumbleys were at times more focused on their extramarital affairs and spending time with their horses than tending to their son's declining mental health. They never should have had children. Some people don't deserve to have kids, and these are two of them that do not. Because, for one, the family purchased that young man the handgun he used just days before the shooting as an early Christmas present and failed to properly secure the weapon. The parents also refused to take him home from school on the day of the shooting, as school officials suggested, after finding Ethan's drawing of a gun and bloody figures. And the school, now this is what really did it in for the parents. If they said, come get your kid, they failed to come get the kid. And I think that's probably what was the loophole. I'm just speculating here of why the judges ruled in the school's favor. Because they did put forth an effort to tell the parents to come pick him up. And being that the parents failed to do so, he later fatally wounded 4 classmates and 7 others that held him responsible along with his parents, most likely. This is bad. She deserves it, and the father deserves it too. And I think this is going to set a precedence to a lot of parents. No matter what race, color, creed. Your kid commits a crime like this, not only will he do the time, but you gonna do it too. So y'all can all be in the cell together. Birds of a feather, serving time together. Until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.
I'll understand you soon, it won't be long. Keep on, keep running.